Good morning from the Annette Lake Trailhead. This is Steve with my hiking buddy Gino.
Hello.
And my hiking buddy Chris.
Good morning.
And we are on our way up to Annette Lake. You can probably hear Humpback Creek roaring in the background, so I'm gonna film when it gets a little quieter up above here when we're gonna cross Humpback Creek, and I'll show you that, and then I'll fill you in on today's journey. So we'll check in a bit. I'm gonna take you with me as I cross the bridge over Humpback Creek. Downstream. A lot of water this morning. We'll check in a bit. That is the lookout tower on Granite Mountain. From the Palouse to Cascades Trail, this is Steve checking in. I'm looking west. If you were to take this about 20 miles this way, you'd eventually reach Cedar Falls and Rattlesnake Lake. And 5 or so miles up this way, you'd hit Snoqualmie Pass, go through the Hayek Tunnel. This is actually the Palouse to Cascades is what it's called now. It used to be known as the John Wayne, and years ago was the Milwaukee Road Railroad line. So you cross it on the Annette Lake Trail and pick up Annette Lake Trail over here. We're going to take a short break here. So some background. We're in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness, and we're heading to Annette Lake. Little over 3 miles, I think 3.5 miles up to the lake. This first stretch takes you up here to the Palouse to Cascades, and then we cross it and start up, and a lot of switchbacks, a lot of avalanche chutes and gullies to go over. We're kind of interested to see how much snow is going to be by the lake. The last trip report indicated there were still some in the lake basin, and we've had a couple of really warm days in the last 2 days, so we'll see how if the snow is still there, if it's melted out. So the journey continues. Thanks for hiking with us this morning. One of my favorite parts of this trail, this boardwalk, and see this root ball here? That's actually going to be a path for us. This log that fell has had stairs cut into it. It's pretty cool. I don't know, it's probably 50 feet long here. Gino's worried it's going to collapse under all his weight back there, so I'm out in front. I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Heading to the switchbacks. A lot of snow melt at higher elevations today and this week. So a quick update. We started up the trail at 6 a.m. this morning, and there was one car in the lot ahead of us. We think it might be a hiker or two because it doesn't have any dew on it. Temps a little bit below 60. We're not complaining, especially with the heat wave we're going to experience in the next few days. Okay, we'll continue on up the trail. We're heading this way. We've reached the first switchback. We've got about 7 or 8 of these to go up, and we're going to ascend the hillside to our right, and then we'll continue in our general southern direction today. This trail kind of goes in a straight line from I-90 south, other than these switchbacks. varying lengths here. Some are quite long and some are kind of short. So we'll check in when we get up to the top one. But just remember Steve's motto, as my two fellow hikers are wiping the sweat from their brow. Hiking Man Steve's motto, arrive inspired, not dog tired.
Good one.
I'm not getting any reaction from Gino. He's just staring at me. Okay, we'll check in up the top. As we head up through the switchbacks, I was telling the guys I'm ahead of them and I'm breaking through spider web after spider web, which leads me to believe no one's on the trail ahead of us. So, we'll see. About halfway up, still climbing. So we've climbed up to the top of this ridge, done the first set of switchbacks. I think we got a pair to go, and trail's kind of level through here, and this big tree is down. And it is a big tree. Probably 3-4 feet around, and I'm going to have to duck down to get through this. It's Gino's height. Ha 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 ha. He's not here to hear me say that, so. Okay, I'll check in up the line. The nice thing, and when you get up here on this ridge, is the views open up quite a bit. So we're coming to a couple avalanche chutes that I'll show you the view from there. Okay, I got to duck and get under this. So I mentioned earlier we cross a couple avalanche chutes or gullies. This is looking up slope. And that goes quite a ways up there. And this is looking down slope. And right across from us, I mentioned the views open up. That is Humpback Mountain. And still a lot of snow up there on the hillside. So we're heading this way. It's about 7:25. I'm guessing we'll be at the lake at about 8 o'clock. Trails got some up and down from here, but most of our climbing is done now. So the next big thing to wonder is, will we see any snow on the trail as we get up by the lake? We'll see when we get there. So we're on the second avalanche chute, and this one has a clear view down, and I do mean down. As Gino said, it wouldn't take you too long to go down this on skis or ride in an avalanche. And you could see the boulder fields on Humpback Mountain as I swing up. I think it might be more, Gino. Gino and I were debating what the degree on this is. He thinks it's 45, but I think it might be a little bit steeper here. So you can see kind of some debris. There's a log here, other logs over here. And there are people that will hike up here in the winter. We are not among those. We don't want to do that. And there's some trees down on the upper hillside here. You can see how it's just been wiped out. Okay, we will continue on to Annette Lake. We're about 5 minutes out from the lake. We've entered the lake basin, and this is our fourth tree we've had to go over on the way in. Ride 'em, cowboy. 2 little patches of snow as we entered the basin, and one about I don't know, 10 feet, the other about 6. And as I crest this last little ridge, I see some snow real close to the lake. So I'll check in up ahead here. We're almost there. You can kind of see the snow and the trees there, but the lake is right on the other side of that. So, okay, I'll check in a bit. And we've made it to the blue-green waters of Annette Lake. One of the many picturesque lakes up here in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness. A few big patches of snow on the way in. Really frozen too. I was surprised. You don't sink down at all. but I'll take some more pictures down the way here. This lake, a little tough to find shore access, especially with it up so high right now. So I'm going to go down here. There's a big camp spot that I think has some pretty good access, so we'll check in a bit. The water is super clear here. I'm being kind of quiet because we ran into a tent up here. So there is someone camping this morning right behind us here. So we could hear them kind of moving around, so we don't want to talk too loudly. But a little bit of snow coming into the lake. Really interesting. It's not soft at all. You sink right in. So really surprised me. But this is Annette Lake. Good sized lake, and the bugs are buzzing this morning. Glad I put on bug spray down below. So we're going to take a quick break here and have a snack, some water, and discuss things, and then we'll head back down. I've come up the shoreline a couple hundred yards so I can talk. Like I said, we got down to that spot, and to our surprise there was a tent there, and the people are still asleep. We got up here a little before 8 o'clock, so roughly when I thought we would. Excuse me, I just swallowed a bug. The bugs are bad here at the lake. Haven't noticed them, but since we stopped they've really started swarming. So we're gonna head back, and on the way out here I'm gonna film the little bit of snow that we've got to cross over. It's like I said, surprising. It's not soft at all. It's still real hard this morning, so I'll film it and show you what we traversed. The patches aren't too big, but just to let you know what's up here right now. So okay, I'm gonna choke here on these bugs, so I'll check in a bit. So as you near the lake, you got a couple of snow patches like this. They're, I don't know, 20, 30 yards long, and you can see where everybody's traipsed along here, but you don't sink in at all. Just kind of stay on the top of this stuff. I got some rocks here I gotta negotiate. But that's about the extent of the snow this morning. There were a couple patches further out, but here at the lake, it's, excuse me, man, I'm still dealing with those bugs, but yeah, it's not too bad here. This is it. The trail goes over this way, and then we're back on dry land. So we'll check in on the way down. This avalanche chute that we're on has a great view of Granite Mountain and the lookout off in the distance there. We've seen 2 hikers already on the way back. 2 young women with their dogs. Exchanged some trail info with them, and they're on their way to the lake. Warned them about the campers still asleep. So we're heading through the avalanche chutes. We'll eventually get to the switchbacks, take those down, and work our way back to the parking lot. We'll check in along the way. Hey, this is Steve. I wanted to give you an update. We're about, well, we're through the switchbacks, and we're heading toward the Palouse to Cascade Trail. We're up to 24 hikers. We've suddenly hit a big bunch of them here. Saw the young women up by the lake, and then for a long stretch there wasn't anybody, and we got to the switchbacks, and it was just packed with people. It was funny because this trail, as you can see in some of my video footage has got a lot of rocks and roots, and Gino said, I can't believe anybody would run this. Well, right after he said it, here comes, it looked like a father and son, and the son was just smoking up the switchbacks, and the dad said, I'm drafting him. But anyway, so 24. We're curious how many we're going to see. I told Gino, he and I came up here last August, at the end of August, and I keep a log at home, and looked, and we saw 43 people, but most of those were in the first mile. So we're up to 24, and we haven't even reached the Palouse to Cascade. So more to come. We'll check in down below. As you can see, it's gotten really nice. Well, it's been nice all day, but the sun's up higher on the horizon, so the trail's lit, and it's just been a real nice hike. A little bit of snow, a little bit of mud, and all these rocks and roots, but we've had a good trip. So before I trip, I'm going to shut this off, and like I said, I'll check in down the line. Back over my favorite bridge, which means we're getting close to the Palouse to Cascades. Love the stair steps on this thing. It is a big log. It's serving a second life there as it has fallen down. Okay, we are going to head over to the Palouse to Cascades, and then we got the final mile down to the car. Parking lot's going to be pretty crowded based on the number of people we've seen. Okay, I'll check in one or two final times here along the way. So as we approach Humpback Creek for the final time, hiker count is 45. Saw 24 to the Palouse to Cascades and 21 in this mile stretch back to the parking lot. I'm going to stop talking here so you can see Humpback Creek. So we got a little stretch here to the parking lot. We've had a number of people this morning say, boy, you guys started early. We were up here at 6. It's a little after 9:30 according to Gino. So roughly 3.5 hours with a break at the lake. We've added a couple more to the total here, 45 hikers, and we'll probably see a couple more before we get to the parking lot. But anyway, next few weeks I think we're going to have a heavy diet of Mount Rainier. Gino and I were throwing out some hikes. There's about 4 of them on the east side of Mount Rainier that we want to do off of Highway 410 in the coming weeks. So I think if you follow the channel, you're going to see a lot of Mount Rainier hikes coming up here in July. So hopefully after the 100-degree weather this weekend, it will be cool enough next week to have an enjoyable hike at Mount Rainier. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. As always, thanks for hiking with us, and we'll see you next time.